like your character on Shake It Up.
Thank you so much. I love your whole ensemble. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
We're gonna talk about this creature. I would call it discounted Disney princess. Like, literally, check this out, guys. 11 years ago. Nothing. 6 years ago. And only now, I have waited patiently for the opportunity to make this video. Because she finally was dragged into a tiny bit of a podcast session with her, like, best friend. Finally, you got to actually type her name and actually find some piece of performance. Usually she's doing comedy, but the comedy didn't trickle down into this platform at all. She just has it all for herself on Instagram, if ever. And yes, I caused a little bit of drama, a little bit of fuss, which requires that magical context. Let me put it this way, guys. In life, there can be many pursuits. We kind of describe it as like ethereal words of happiness. It doesn't mean much. In actuality, it doesn't describe anything specific. Personally, my best skill is to kill boredom, even though I'm stuck in a room. Because there's no social interactions in my life, I'll tell you that much. Maybe that's just because I'm not American. And people don't like talking English. People talking ooga booga around me, okay? And do absolutely nothing of importance or interest. Sometimes pursuit in life can be solving a problem. Solving problems. Sometimes people are, well, very itchy to solve the biggest problem of I'm not rich and famous. But there's another really unfitting thing, I would say, to all of this. And it's like one of these things, you know. It doesn't really fit anywhere. Is that a problem to solve? But like, why would I have a problem? You know, being alone? Fuck that. But then you look downstairs and there's always like that little person that wants to be touched, you know, and loved. And it's like, shut up, little guy. I don't know what to give to you. But then I'm like, I get it now. I get it. No, obviously I did not just fall in love for the first time. Yeah, I definitely had pursuits that ended up in crashes, and I guess that is a definition of having exes. And I actually intend to do the same thing. I want an ex, not a permanent love, okay? I want to win. I have a pretty good win rate so far. I'm a growing person. I've left my exes behind because they're trash. And we're gonna trash this person. If possible. She's powerful, guys. She's powerful. Being on Shake It Up, like, it's one of the best shows. There's a reason why I put it on YouTube Rewind's introduction. This is what I got, boys. I want Cece and Rocky. And then they talk. Because, I was desperate to introduce that I was trying something for the first time, something else than sliders, and then it didn't work out. We ended up with sliders anyways. The shitty rewinds, stinky rewinds. Whatever we get is whatever we get. So what are we gonna do in this video? Why is it 1 hour long? And maybe the premise is obvious based on the thumbnail title combination. So there's this podcast, right, that her best friend has. And it was tame in this episode, but I have a feeling it's not tame at all in general. It's pretty disgusting podcast. Because that was my first impression, by the way. Dating our fans. What the hell? They have worked, my friends. They have prepared themselves, because I'm technically can be considered a fan, but these people don't fucking get it. I actually don't treat myself 100% fan. I'm just Treating myself as like, this is a low-hanging fruit, or a cow. I don't know which one. And I need to find if I care, if I am really interested, if I am willing to invest my care and attention. One thing helps for sure is attempt to help. You know? Technically, I will make Ainsley more present on YouTube right now. Maybe even making a little bit of a history with this move. And by the way, Ainsley is a very cool name. I love saying it. She definitely got something very cool going on here.
Gives us peace.
Well, someone is fighting for the name Ainsley Bailey. You might not want to actually lose that on any given platform. I was like, who's that though? Because it can't be her, and it's not her. Alright? She has to populate a thumbnail because she looks pretty, you know? For the time being. Like, the funny thing is, I can't even be a fan when there's no content. Yes, I follow her every single fucking move on Instagram. What else can I do, right? And at the same time, I would be like, oh, that's cute. I wouldn't be impressed. I wouldn't be like a fan of someone. Everyone needs to generally mature to get fans in general, it feels like. I'm not exactly sure. But that's the vibe. That you cannot impress people. Like, when you truly mature and truly present the maximum quality, people immediately become fans. They get stunned so fast. Most people already clicked away from this video. Because I am not mature. I'm hiding my face. I have unsolved problems that potentially I can still solve by myself. Who knows? All I know is I have a future ahead of me and many things to try to become mature, and then might be impressive to other people. I have a lot of cool things that I can share, and I've done throughout the years. The 3 years, I believe. I have been pumping videos out, guys. And sharing very interesting stuff, and discovering interesting stuff, too, along the way. In fact, I am actually still a little bit ahead of this podcast in subscriber count. And maybe you can help me right now. Keep it that way. Keep them low. Keep them pathetically unimportant right now. And maybe I will actually even prove you guys that this is a toxic piece of shit podcast. Who knows, man? I'm not sure what I'm gonna get myself into, but that's the thing. I'm putting myself into internet danger watching all kinds of fucking podcasts. I mean, Hack to a podcast was like definitely a survival of my brain cells. We definitely put my brain cells into an island and said only 20% of brain cells shall survive this. After I click this, there's no turning back. I believe it's not even like a full video that I've done. No fucking way, dude. I thought it's like 40 minutes. It's not even that. I could not survive this shit. I didn't thought women can be so disgusting before. But it all makes sense now, am I right? And it's almost like this exposure therapy is what's gonna actually propel me closer. What's gonna bond me, because Ainsley happens to be a very positive person, right? She's self-deprecating if she feels like she has to, but naturally, that does not make anyone else feel bad. It just makes them feel bad about her if they care. And you can see how pale she is in comparison. It's a lot more apparent if I clicked. Maybe it's for you guys to see. It wasn't too interesting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, did you bring something special for us today?
It's funny
She absolutely did.
that you bring that up. They come with a gift, so you get them like a host gift.
Yeah.
And you get like a candle or like flowers. I'm allergic to both of those things.
That's weird, by the way. Hearing that she's allergic to a bunch of stuff. What the fuck does that mean, right? Is she allergic to smells? And it's like creates this interesting mystery about her of like she's so fragile and surrounded by kind of unusual people, I would say. Oh, look at that. Rats, though. I mean, we're celebrating deadmau5 drama, aren't we? I would call it people with chewable reputation. By the way, Anna Akana actually is relatively close to like this comedy genre thing. She's kind of floating around like a ghost. I would never expect her to show up on a podcast like this. So far so good, but there's a third guest basically. Reoccurring guest or host, I don't know. Because they're not gonna have guests all the time.
Right.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my god, it's
Look
so
at
beautiful.
that.
How many trips to Michael's did this take?
But then she ends up self-deprecating of like, oh look, it's like a mom showing newborn baby photos. Some kind of flashback was shown where like there's alternate podcast with that poster hanging on the wall. Yeah, while the other hosts are like chill and have completed their life purpose, she feels still like she's discovering life and she cares about others way more. And that's the most attractive feature anyone can have. That's literally bleeding humbleness. So more context about the drama that I was able to pull, because the only thing you can do is pull drama, alright? If you want someone to care about you. It's always gonna be a life-changing moment, which they might not actually appreciate as much. So while she cared to kind of keep me around and see my quirks as upsides, there was a dude, a transgender dude, so it's actually a fucking woman in disguise. Well, it stepped in the fucking way and challenged me, basically. Cool. And even ended up labeling that he's dating Ainsley. Right in that fucking moment, right in my face. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? I mean, that's the funny thing, you know, for someone to go trans, fully transition, really commit to it, and then become a comedian, you know, this is why I don't take it serious stuff like, she's dating her bubble. She's dating some fucking rando who pretended to save her from me, from a fan. A little bit more I'm banned. I'm banned from the Instagram. I can't watch through Instagram, and it's like, okay, dude. That's good for me. That's good for my mental health. I don't have to participate in this shit. This is embarrassing. Not this episode, but probably every other episode is embarrassing. They're unhinged. Again, I gave you guys an example of how many brain cells you can possibly lose within minute basis, you know? Well, we had a conversation, technically, and it was very close to kind of settling towards peace. But then it's like, no. The decision was, nah. Maybe I scared her away. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just that guy. I'm just a very obsessive guy. I want to win games. You know, I want to play and win games like everyone else. And I'm not afraid to put on a few more pieces than usual. And it's like there's nothing embarrassing that you can possibly do versus comedians. Comedians are supposed to be funny clowns all the time. Bent over comedians. But you cannot really insult them. You have to beat them in their own game. Then it's like, it's over. It's like a rap battle. Yeah, you can insult rappers for being rappers, but you're not better than them. So they have something on you, you know? And right after, the guy just like flexed of like, oh wow, I'm hanging with Ainsley. Right And they even post a photo. It's just like such a slap in the face. But at the same time, I usually treat these experiences like, well, that belongs to me. If I pumped motivation, that's usually what happens. If you talk about something that pumps motivation to someone to do something. So I take credit for it as well. It's not a slap in the face. That's how I collect my taxes. And I do laugh at my own jokes, because I'm that smart. I can make a joke ahead of time. Then joke runs away and makes a family. Then I meet their family and congratulate them. My joke runs really fast into the future. You never know when it's gonna happen. When a sad joke just passes me that I threw into the future. That's called maturity, my friends. Here's a matrix of how I make jokes. So this is my lifeline, but technically I'm here, and this is my future, and I throw a bunch of jokes up here, and eventually we're gonna find Shrek 5, you know, like one of those things. I'm committed to Shrek just like any other Jax films, but eventually you're gonna come across and it's like, wow, this joke fits right in right now. It's perfect timing for this joke right now. And you know what perfect timing is for a day like this? Watching some of these GIFs, you know? I found some cool GIFs of old men dancing, and I really want to share them with you guys. He seems to be very happy right now with his life. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he dodged the bullet. Maybe he's like, oh, I don't have to marry that person for 4 years, you know? Let's go, bro. Let's go. There's always perfect timing for everything. You just have to prepare yourself mentally to throw jokes at people. Like a minefield that you have to navigate and step on every mine because it's funny for other people when you step on a mine. And sometimes it can be deprecation that you step on, but I'm not sure what other people's strategy of making comedy is. I like improvising. Improvising is so much cooler. I've learned that by force. Technically, my entire channel is improvising with a slight hint of comedy, because it keeps things more entertaining, you know? I'm always on the edge of trying to make jokes. It's an art form, for sure. All I'm saying, guys, is that these comedians, they think they're in the bubble, and he thinks he's impressive. But I'm also in the same game, buddy. And he probably slowly realized that I'm not just fucking around. I got something. You know, I was making so many jokes, he had to ban me from his Instagram. It was over. I was dominating. And eventually comes the time for me to dominate every single thing that Ainsley Bailey touches. Alright? Everything will turn to gold, my friends. There is no escape. Go into more podcast. I dare you, Ainsley. We have to dominate this fucking shitty world. You know, if you're watching Ainsley, we have a perfect plan to take over the internet, one podcast at a time. Just ask to be invited. Just raise your hand in the middle of your comedy skit and be like, hey guys, does anyone have a shitty podcast that I can, appear into? Please, guys, I need that. That's gonna be the funniest bit ever as well. So this is absolutely insane, guys. To talk about dating our fans is like, where did you come up with that idea, I wonder? And right after, like, this is definitely linked with my magnets. They bought some of my magnets, guys. Let's see what they have to say. If they mention me, I mean, I will flip the universe. Because whoever is going to be the first one to mention me, even indirectly, like, one person almost did. I'm very big in Hearthstone community, so Zeddy almost had to acknowledge my existence when I hated him, basically. He acknowledged by saying of like, some people make hate videos about me for liking a specific card. Some dog shit card, Zeddy. Dog shit card, Zeddy. You have to do better.
New destination.
Oh, yeah. There's another piece of context that actually has to be given to you guys. Not the part that's Instagram is public, so I can always see it anyways. But the part of her Instagram that I tainted, and I almost feel responsible for her just like disappearing, but it's a mix of Trump winning. Like, she was not posting at all. Like 1 month at a time, like this period was crazy. Look at this. Trump wins, she posts this, and then starts disappearing. Even this period was pretty long. 4 posts in a month. Devastating, guys. And she was usually posting her comedy appearances. This is her when Trump wins the game. Like, she's surrounded by all these political lefties, so to speak. I would say it's a dangerous environment for her. It's like a very crippling environment. Everyone is very selfish and toxic. And this was the time when I got, invited to Americans Got Talent. But I'm not American. So am I invited, guys? Am I? This was the picture of like, oh wow, you posted the first picture with a dude. How cool is that? That's proof that they're best friends with the host of the podcast we're gonna see. I have to do the emotional dump really bad, okay, guys? So yeah, I feel responsible because you can literally just scroll down very easily. And she slowly stops posting. But it's this that also feels very responsible. The thing that triggered the drama was this. I reacted to this, and I gave a lot of affection over what she's gonna say, and then we had to start a conversation of like, oh, look at this one odd man out that nobody understands what the fuck he's talking about. So this guy just kind of approaches me in the comments, and drama begins. Ainsley tried to like defend me, but at this point, it didn't work out. Now I'm not sure who's to blame. I like winning things, so I like participating a lot. I don't want to get banned just because I participate. People should be banned for like being very rude. So I'm okay for this guy banning me. I'm not okay to trickle down and get farted on. But the game is not over. We're pursuing a public figure. All the records are still exposed. Every single move still counts. Towards victory, boys.
I don't know how you take pictures in front of other people. Because, for Instagram, we're supposed to, post us doing cool stuff so that it's like, look, I'm busy and doing cool projects. I just I recorded ADR for a friend's short film. And I don't know what those letters stand for, but it's like you go in a little booth and you wear headphones and there's a mic, but it has the circle with the grid on it, so it looks really professional. And I was like, oh, I should in my head I knew I was doing this thing, and I was like, oh, I should take a picture for Instagram so it looks like I'm doing something. But then I was there and I was like, there's people around, I'm not gonna take a picture, that's so embarrassing. So then I was like, oh, I'll just talk about what I did in a reel, because they say reels are better for engagement. I don't want to do. It cut me off because I was talking too long, which isn't good because these are supposed to be under a minute, I think, for engagement. I don't know if any of this is real. So we're supposed to post a certain number of times a week. I don't want to do that. I mean, I love social media. Pay me. I just want to do comedy. I don't know why this matters, but it does. And
you can see it, sort of the narrative keeps breaking down. Of I don't want to do this, guys. Is this something I was supposed to do for engagement? And it's like, why are you so shy about this? I would say take your best friend's advice and not give a fuck. Like, people are so desperate to support someone doing whatever the fuck they want to do. And no matter what drama they cause, it's just like, well, actually, that's not bad. You know, like, she's doing what she wants to do in life, which is the most valuable thing that we often forget because we want to please other people. We forget what we want to do. The funny thing is, this is work. You entering a workspace and you have to work. If you want to be a good comedian, you have to let go of all the restraints that you have, all the laziness, and you actually have to pump content all over the place. Basically, pee everywhere, just like a dog marking territory. Because you never know when someone's gonna slip on your pee and is gonna end up subscribing and being a fan of your work. This inspired me to, like, I need to pursue this person because I want to help them. I want to, like, have this, like, mutual learning experience. And again, we'll never forget, she's primarily a Disney princess. The most attractive label you can possibly get, even if she is technically a C-level celebrity. C-listed. You know, not quite the main cast, if you know what I mean, but it's just so cool. It's so cool that she is real. She's not like the other too big to reach celebrities. Like, I can actually cause some kind of havoc a little bit. Right under the comments when it matters. Obviously, my comments get completely wiped since I'm banned. But fuck it, I tried, okay? I at least tried. And I get to live to tell the tale right now.
I pulled because we're supposed to post, I think, before they say you're supposed to post before a certain time of day. Like, I heard 3 p.m. If you post after 3 p.m., it doesn't count, so do it before. So I pulled over. I have an hour drive home. I pulled over. I'm in the parking lot of a Baja Fish Tacos. I'm allergic.
It's pretty obvious that you can postpone your post for a specific period of time. The best time to post is actually, in my opinion, first, any time you want, anytime you feel most comfortable. That's the highest priority when you can post something. And yes, I'm giving you guys coaching because I'm trying to, like, reply to a person and their needs. I'm even gonna, like, pull this up, alright? When you're comfortable, when you have an urge to say something, then you post. Just do your thing. You only need one post a day to stay relevant, basically. And if you are kind of not meeting the deadline, you should allow yourself to feel comfortable more often. So if you haven't posted for like 3 days, even a fart happening, even a cat finding a toy that's a funny toy, like, you just film that and post it, and it's like, wow, look at that. Look at my cat doing stupid shit. Often taken advice is a critical flaw in people's thinking that they need to do something in a specific time, in a specific way, right? And she's allergic again. Oh, come on. It's like me being labeled with paranoia. She's labeled with every allergy imaginable, I guess. What the hell happened here? I very much like worrying about health conditions. Because I always feel I can crack the case. I can figure out what cancer is. I can figure out what mental illness actually is. A lot of things are actually disguised, just like advice is disguised as something good that you need to follow, but it's only for stupid people. So when do you actually post? Post when nobody else does. This is the best timing, because on YouTube, for example, if I post something, there's a gap of empty air where my post is the top post that anyone is going to see in their subscription box. Post when nobody else is doing that. And Americans happen to do a funny thing, which is sleeping. If you post on a particular moment when Americans are sleeping, you're leeching the rest of the world as audience at very least. And every single American who is not sleeping is also going to bump into your content, you have to find your specific spot, especially if it's blatantly obvious when that spot opens. And only then, after you've done these things, do things that nobody else does, do things that is comfortable to you. Only when you do these things, then you can seek advice. But often you can generate your own advice, your own pushes and motivations at what, and attempt, just do science. My third advice would be just do science, go nuts. I want people to engage with social media a lot more. I want them to find importance in this. I don't want them just do their job, because this is what she's ending up doing, you know? She's just doing her job, but it's like, it's such a precious person.
To seafood. I shouldn't be here. I want to go home. No one made me do this. This is my...
I mean, you can literally clip that to this picture right there.
Anyway, I'm just gonna post...
I want to go home, guys.
This and not put...
I don't want to be in this party. What is this party about?
on it. And I'm sorry if that...
I believe that was her birthday party, by the way. That was it. It's so interesting.
That's bad if you're, or I'll try to do it automatically, but it's so hard. It takes so much time, and a lot of times the captions don't work. And then you try to fix one, but then the whole rest of it...
Yeah, you just have to find the technology that does work. Technology is ass, often enough. And you just have to let the bugs flow, because that's a comedy skit waiting to happen.
Messes up. And I'm not going to put a title on this.
It's just a very, very real interaction with the audience. So I thought I was obligated to also be real, you know? She was opening up, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take that. But I got slapped in the face. And I don't know, man. I don't think you will have a career after this. I don't think I'm Jesus who will give a second cheek, you know, to slap. I might take one, though. I might take a cheek.
And I'm not gonna... And now it seems annoying. Now it seems like I'm just being authentic. And I don't know. I think I'm just hungry. I think I'm hungry. And because I was running late this morning and I didn't have time to eat. That's a lie. I ate a little bit, but it wasn't enough. And I'm gonna post this and it's gonna be too long. But that's okay, because I gotta post up and it's a reel. I haven't posted a reel in a while. Also, I listened to one of these back and it's making like a weird clicking noise in the back and I have no idea what that is. And I'm not gonna fix it. I'm sorry. Happy Saturday.
That was just so weird. Technically, narrative continued breaking down until there's nothing left, and she's talking about how hungry she is. I mean, yeah. But then she started pulling rewards, and I'm like, what? Can I take credit for this too? What are these rewards doing right now? She pulled like 2 of them, by the way. Set of the night's winner, you know? Look at that. People like her. And genuinely, like, she's an innocent person. She does not talk about lip-tart garbage of like, hey guys, I'm a trans person. Here's my shitty experience of being trans person. Wow, I really want to hear that. I will relate so much. Of someone trying to be a man, but failing miserably. Maybe eating a dick wasn't such a bad idea after all, isn't it? I'm not gonna have good feelings towards someone who blockaded me, alright, for no good reason. But they will have to answer for their own crimes. That's just how it goes, my friends. I'm allergic to trans people. I need some medication, guys.
Speaker.
I feel like I have to actually unveil some information about me just randomly. Because my mom seems to have a stuffed nose. I don't know if that's allergy to not having an allergy. But that shit is lasting like 2 months now. I have to live with that shit of like someone blowing their nose constantly. Let me give you guys a scoopy experience. You know? You know what I mean? All right, let's dive into this.
We're at
Let's
the
see
LA
what the conclusion is.
Times Festival of Book.
There's only 2 of them, guys. Only 2 survived.
I was very for
Is that the reason why, like, they had to actually ask for a guest to appear? Like, the third one disappeared. Also, this one is different. Let's not focus on that shit,
the
guys.
days
This can be just anything. It doesn't mean
leading
anything,
up to
doesn't
it.
it?
Is I was having like a massive existential crisis. I was like, I'm an idiot, and like, I'm a piece of shit. No one's gonna listen to me.
Aww.
And then it turned,
Aw, you're so right.
and then it was like the
I mean, it's also a new.
Okay, just hurry up, okay? I'm not hearing this right now. It's not very good. This is the downside of podcasting. The shit is not gonna come up that easily. There's no particular topic to talk about. Which is why there's no fucking reason to do podcasts and everyone is dunking on anyone who makes podcasts. That's the stupidest thing. Maybe if you have guests rotate, then I can understand. Or case in point, my entire fucking channel is a podcast pumping. I don't know. I'm not good at words. Dump truck. Let's just call it that way. I dump a lot of information out of my brains and experience a lot of cool things across the internet. And I think that makes for a much more powerful podcast. When you pick a topic or pick what happens to be a guest, that also can turn into a topic. This is just not good. Alright? What's the viewership on this thing? What's the ratio? The ratio is hundreds views turns into a subscriber. 100 views. Meaning that they're getting pity subscribers, for sure. That's what you can expect. But after the pity fades away, I don't think these guys are gonna grow that fast. They might just be my competitors for a very long time. Oh look, they respect the G more than anything else. Look at that. They could have lowercased anything else, but they lowercased the G. I wonder how I feel about this. Oh yeah, me dominates everything.
Angle 2.
I see things and I dominate
Bachelor and
things.
Star. Like, I don't.
The Bachelor, and I was
If I'll needs to, I will expose this podcast of being like extra shitty. You know? I might even propagate stuff.
I'm not a danger to you.
I am willing to be a danger to anyone who gets to block me from me doing stuff, you know? It happens by accident. The blocks just spawn and create social pressure of like, you guys can't do that, you guys cannot look into each other, this guy is just not good enough right now, and so on. It's just there's social pressure in the air creating separation between people. People can't even meet each other anymore. But now we're worldwide, so it's a lot more complicated because people might actually find what fits them the most. Find the path of life across the entire world. Someone just wakes up and be like, oh, I need to pursue this American chick, you know? And while Americans are tough in their own little bubbles, it might be a little bit more complicated to like tackle an Asian or a Russian person. And things might not end up in a victory. The blockades that usually work, they don't work no more. And all of a sudden, Americans might wake up one day and feel surrounded by foreign interest.
I promise.
Like,
Yeah.
One of the things Americans have as a cultural norm is being nice to each other. If you are not nice even a little bit, people gonna go fucking haywire. They're gonna freak out and attempt to silence you, basically, destroy your reputation, whatever. They're gonna go hater mode really fast. Of like, oh, you hating something? You disrespect something? Let me go fucking monkey mode. Goblin mode. Easy. Anytime I interact with Americans, they spam my comments with a bunch of nasty shit. Because they find something disrespectful And it's like you don't even understand what respect is anymore. You have been nice your whole fucking lives. Sorry if this is a rant. This is a cultural enrichment for you guys. This is the usual where you disrespect someone, some YouTuber, and people gonna flock at you and come at you. And in Europe, it's impossible to disrespect anyone and then have fans come over to you because nobody cares that much about anyone in particular. Only in America they have celebrities, you know, and they worship those celebrities. No matter who they are and how stupidly unclean their room is. How about that? Or toxic, no matter how toxic they are. They will still have fans. And it's like, bro, the dude is toxic. He is literally hating on everyone else, and you still support him. That's kind of fucked up, man. So, that's American culture for you guys. Idolization without fucking control of any kind. Which ends up being this social pressure norm that kind of blockades me from pursuing any American ever. Like, I don't know, I have to justify my actions or do better. I'm not sure what's supposed to be happening. I'm supposed to play by their rules. Like, it's crazy to me. Because I'm also being authentic. Very complicated, but still authentic. Because, again, this is sludge. This is not something you need to see. Probably brain rot too, like unnecessary facts being given before. The reason why we clicked is not getting unveiled right now.
Next to each other, and me and Izzy.
How is it not normal to hate something? Well, it's not normal when you have so many nice things. You can actually always be nice to other people, because if you don't like something, you just go somewhere else. You know, you don't actually tackle anything. People will start accusing you of like you're cloud chasing and all that. I say, as European, I have privilege, and I have to use that privilege if I find it, because we're poor over here, you know? We don't grow up in a social society. We live in a world where people sort of hate each other, and they don't really want to interact with each other in a positive way whatsoever. They want to like challenge other people. If you walk in the streets of Europe, you're going to be challenged more often than someone says, "Oh, nice shoes." You know, like it's going to be completely different vibe, much lower frequency, I would say, of good interactions. Oh, it's today years old. We can actually grab this and put it back in. That's cool. That's cool. I'll take that.
Like,
Again, just to be sure, I'll do whatever it takes to help this person because she's cool. She's cooler than anyone else, and she does all the right things, and it's just beautiful to see that her podcast went smoothly, while this is just going downhill, because they're just talking to each other. They don't actually care about the audience.
Parasocial, freaky shit.
yeah, like
No, this guy was probably in his 60s.
If you are a celebrity, you're going to be pursuing good relationships, and you're going to think that every relationship with a fan is going to be parasocial. Which, I don't know what the fuck that means. It sounds like a fucking insult, you know? It sounds like a, ugh, look at these fucking normies, you know? Which is so fucking embarrassing when some of these normies clap back. You can subscribe to my channel and just clap back on these fucking wannabe celebrities, basically. I'm starting to hate this, you know, and I'm starting to boil. Parasocial is now a word that's like very complicated to understand. It makes me very uncomfortable. It's like cool kids slang versus the normies. I don't like that. Because they show like this isolationism. They want to create a bubble, and they don't want to let in people who would cloud chase, who would drain the energy, use the room in their advantage of like, nah, you stick with us and play by our rules. We rule over here. It's a very weird vibe when people bring up parasocial as a word, as a definition.
That was the thing that was
That's
like,
really
it was really scary, but I felt for her. She's a very sweet person.
and she reposted our.
Something that, like, I feel like I did a lot when
This is why one of those parasocial things is ignoring the normies, not actually replying to their comments, not engaging with them, basically. Just pushing them away. is a normal thing to do for all of these, well, cool kids. They're not actually cool, they're just popular. You know, they're not cool by any means. Most of them actually even do stupid shit to become popular. Everyone wants to pretend that they're cool. Everyone wants to pretend that they are smart, collected, patient, all these virtues when you just sit there, do nothing, and project virtues. But the reality is, they're just scaredy cats. They don't actually understand how life works, and they don't open themselves up to be nice to everyone. Instead, they just project fear of like, oh my god, I'm scared for her so much. It's so fucking
I was
stupid.
younger, like, not clutching my purse.
Yeah, it is what it is. You're the celebrity and everyone else wants to steal stuff from you, wants to leech your love and attention. You're always the victim, basically. That's what celebrities, that's how they live their lives, you know? They always have to project as weak victims that live barricaded and everyone else is a fucking zombie, basically. Especially paparazzi, like level 5 zombies, bro. I mean, I just watched Britney Spears' series, which really shows the dark side of popularity and a few more things, or at least reminds you of how desperate people are to monetize your existence. That is parasocial. This is what I would call parasocial. Also, parasocial is when you're overly attached to something and you're hoping through the comment section that someone is going to care, but they don't. But if they ban you, however, that's no longer parasocial. You actually directly interacted with me. And now we have beef. That's when the game changes immediately. You cannot label this as parasocial. You cannot label this as, oh my god, I'm scared. You have actually paid attention to me way too much. Even though I was just a comment laying around, right? And I actually had these, like, breakthroughs through parasocial wall, basically. And I often, like, wait for it to happen. Now it's like, it can happen. It's a real thing. You can break through this wall. You can have a real interaction. Again, even getting banned, even being way too annoying where you get banned, that's no longer a parasocial interaction. That's real. That's them saying that they don't want you around, that they're embarrassed about something. And they're obviously not going to address the issue, but there's going to be now an elephant in the room if you truly care. And I happen to care, which is very dangerous for them.
It's like, we need some more decorum. Like, I'm really tired. Like, I don't
Cover
care.
them ankles, girl.
Yeah, cover them ankles. Like, I'm tired of.
You're already ugly sitting here with fucking pants on. Get the fuck out of here, then. They're literally just like little rats ratting around. And scared of having fans, even. Scared of being fucking attractive. It's just pathetic, you know? There's different levels of celebrity, and they're definitely just sitting on level that's very low hanging right now. I'm glad that they brought Ainsley Bailey. That's the achievement that they did. They actually brought her to light. Do they know that they did that achievement? I don't know. That's the only thing I respect. Everything else is, we're watching Haktua again. And it just angers me in every move. I'll try to watch the damn whole thing.
Have you ever seen my wrists on the show?
Out of it. Like, do you know how many times I have to go to shows and open mics and I'm hearing like about like your husband's penis and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like I'm done. I don't want to.
Now, that is a whole different topic. This is toxicity she's describing, and it's completely normal to try and stay away from it.
I don't want to know. I didn't ask. Like, I don't care.
In comedy, it saw this
Now it's getting interesting,
girl
isn't it?
package, but I think as for me at least, I'm more likely to be like, okay, the exterior, like if I don't love your outfit, like if this works out and like we vibe, like I can always give you a makeover. But like I can't make over your vibe.
Wow, this was actually very sweet. They're talking about dating experience, and it's almost like exactly what I need to hear right now. Especially this makeover thing, because obviously in terms of appearance, I have zero experience. Zero. I don't even want it. Which is why I denounce the outside world. To me, it's cruel and stupid. And I don't know what people's experience on the apps is. They say they have to swipe 1,000 times to just get like 5 coffee dates or whatever. And it's that, but imagine not having a car. Imagine not feeling that you want to go on a date in the first place and just be stuck on a conversation basis. I want to pull people into that territory of just like, let's be friends forever across internet. Like, what's the bad thing that can happen, right? Because I'm just this kind of stumped of like, it's not working out, okay? Like, people not just gonna like throw themselves into a date and make things work. How about we just make a conversation work? How about we just become comfortable doing that? This is my dream right now. Let's forget dating is not working out right now because they're talking about dating, right? She opened up about how she doesn't date and just has wide variety of taste. Doesn't even know what she likes. So I actually just this is feeling normal right now. Absolutely, they should have opened with this instead of telling some random story and triggering me with a word that I don't like.
I'm supportive of
Everyone
that.
is trying.
This is the beauty of being a public person because you can be completely open about whatever the fuck. You can communicate out anything. That's the beauty of being on social media, being completely honest and open. And that's where you're gonna get success being a celebrity, you know? It is actually possible that Ainsley does not want to pursue being a celebrity. It's possible. There are 4 paths to pursue. You can be a normie, a celebrity, a politician, or my favorite, God. I'll try to be one of those.
To be a DJ. As what his ex looks like. I'm like, why the fuck would you
I
want
don't
to go
wanna
into
know.
this dating
Yeah.
situation with this girl's facing your mind, and then you're comparing like, was this his type? And I'm like, oh my god, I would.
Yeah, being prepared. For me, I am a internet person, so I treat everything you post as a training session. Every post that happens has some kind of meaning in it. I want to know everything about you. That's what it is. Why would you? You have to prepare yourself for everything, to accept everything. Like, what's the problem? Now, having exes in your mind, that's a scary territory because you have to be respectful of these other people. You don't want them to haunt your life too much. But it's like, yeah, I know. You acknowledge that an ex, it's like they dumped this person. It's important to know what person got dumped because you might not be their level either, you know? You gotta give yourself a self-esteem check, so to speak. This could also be a topic of discussion. It's like it's not that fucking big of a deal, you know?
The ex before going
No,
on a
I
date.
never want to know.
Ever.
Unless she's like,
Strange. Then run the risk of being boring, honestly.
yeah,
Rather
she's
you be-
changed my opinion on
Yeah.
this.
I like
I
that
used
too.
to be like I was chasing.
This is just simply another principle of like you have to communicate. If you are surrounded by celebrities, you better be opening up too much. I actually look like this, so I can't show my face, but it is what it is, guys. I have to tell how it is.
And that was like a high and like off the bat like very
They're figuring things out of like what their path entails. Communication is a path for celebrities to follow because they have to communicate with each other and they have to collaborate on certain projects. They have to grow in that direction. But different paths require a different set of skills. Being a politician requires incredible amount of courage, and being God requires incredible amount of patience. Incredible amount. Something that even clouds my brain to understand how crazy it is, how crazy it can actually get. Because imagine you're just constantly bombarded by hatred and you still have to remain cool. It's insane. And I might fucking do it.
Just being like pretty forth, like, hey, like,
And like being really
I just know too many things, guys. I know too many things.
kind
I'm
of like,
sorry.
I'm gonna start.
I live my life as if it's an RPG where I'm just increasing my skills constantly. But I've never been through a character selection screen. So I look like a gremlin right there.
Being strange in my, maybe
But look at that. Look at that. Look who's above me. That's cute. I get to look at cool legs.
too open or
Internet is full of pretty people, if you know
almost
what I
more
mean.
comfortable just kind of being in a
I don't want you to be nonchalant because it's like then you're not really interested in me,
Yeah,
right? Like
right.
and then why am I going to be seeking and chasing someone that isn't really giving me the time of day?
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like they're recognizing my worth. And so
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I think recently this is
That's
actually very,
the parasocial situationship. If you're not being recognized, there's no reason to accept that relationship.
I've gone
Again, they just describe the relationshipness path very well. They're kind of discovering that. I actually want to drop a dookie though. They might discover some bad things about our relationship. Now the room is stinky.
on a few first dates recently, and I followed up
But that's why Gremlin is in a bathtub or something? This is so fucking such a vibe. Like they know what they're doing.
with like I had a great. I am so busy now.
Guys, that was good.
Went on a date,
I was sitting on a toilet and I
And
listened to
then I
this
was like,
part.
okay, well, I'm
but it's still for me like that's how I
But
close
his
the loop.
non-response is like an
Yeah,
answer.
have the decency, the human decency to just respond to other people as you would a friend, like whoever, you know.
Right? It's
Or you could just ban me, am I right?
so funny that
Yeah.
like I feel like everyone always like I've had guys that are like the same, like on the other side of that text message,
Yeah.
or, like, you know, girlfriends are like on the other side of the text message, and it's like if everyone would just like communicate
Yeah.
and like say how they're feeling, like people wouldn't have to be playing
I
these
know.
games.
And to be
Everyone's like so
fair-
afraid to just be like, hey, I'm
Oh, if people would just communicate, they wouldn't have to play these games. But even communication is very difficult right now because there's a thing called capitalism. And we're not talking about base capitalism. We're talking about corporate capitalism. Where you basically have to maintain a clean image as a celebrity. You have to always be able to communicate with the audience, and audience has to like you and your products that you're trying to sell. This is the game we're playing, unfortunately, and that's why I'm getting bans as well. There's multitude of reasons, making them uncomfortable, I'm too small of a person, or this corporate capitalism whispered in their ears of like, this is not going very well. We probably don't want this to be the first comment.
in
Yeah.
specific where it's like, oh, I'd love to see you, no response. Da-da-da. Like that to me is just like you see me as a like NPC moving through the world with like no plans, no timeline.
Oh, so cute. I love the NPC thing.
Like
yeah, it's
love
almost like
it.
they want like that little bit of validation.
you really like someone and you're like interested in them in like a real way, like make that known. Like and because again, you're prolonging
See? They accidentally justified all my actions. I think I let people know. This is the best ending, to be honest. I don't know. Let's see bonus meme.
the not gay. So that'll be your answer in and
Yeah.
of itself. I think there's no greater place of power or masculinity, in my opinion, when a guy is confident enough in himself to lay out how he's feeling and what he thinks or how he feels about you. I think that's a really attractive quality. I feel the same.
Wow, I was attracted all this time. Who would have thought, right? I love being smart enough to where I had this idea before you did. You know, that's the most beautiful thing. When I made myself a good advice. And I definitely know that this is attractive. Because that's what relationships are made out of. Conversations. Interactions. Like, it's fucking obvious. And you should be able to do that in any condition, almost. With the exception of internet is an open place and it's very difficult to like create the proper environment for a conversation that does not get easily interrupted. Let's put it that way.
Days feels like winning and losing.
Mhm.
You always
You know, the funny thing is, I don't know where this part comes from. Dating our what do you mean? They're not talking about that. They're just talking about dating in general. So where's the fans part? I call fish on this one.
be the victor if you're just to be more authentic.
Oh,
and
look. This is also good.
Then men behaving in that way. And I mean, somebody has to like
Yeah,
either the
somebody's
women
gotta sack
either
up.
women need to start being that way or men need to start being that way, or preferably both at the same time, because it's just a culture that's kind of cannibalizing itself at this point of both sides not being authentic and honest. So if men want to lead the charge and be more authentic and honest, then please
That's
can you
awesome.
impart that to
Yeah,
all
can you
of them?
yeah, can you
Yeah,
impart that to all?
I don't think you can handle that, actually. Just, you gotta take my hand and collaborate. Otherwise, you lose an opportunity and you have to wait another bus stop, basically, another bus to come and take you away and teach you that men are being honest, that someone is stepping up. There's no greater L in the world than to have something that you're asking for. You already have it. You already have the noob version of that. But you're asking it for it to happen, and it's like, bruh. There's no bigger L than being a hypocrite, you know? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call.
Yeah, can you go on Bumble Friends and just start
Guys,
spreading
Yeah, spreading misinformation.
possible episode?
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to be confident enough to actually genuinely start pursuing relationships and communication and find ways to do it. Because the difficult part is not communication. You can send message to anyone in the world. The real problem is maintenance. Maintenance to make sure that the communication doesn't break down. That's the biggest hurdle right now. Which they seem to not be able to do either. You know, that's the thing. And Ainsley can't do it either. It's the maintenance of communication that is the biggest problem to solve. I try to do my best, my friends. I did my best. What can I say? Is there a game to step up right now?
Thank you guys for submitting your questions. Keep into it.
I know bonus
Stay
meme, guys.
one advice. We will answer them on the.
I need to send a message to these. I need to try and communicate, guys. What do you mean your answer? I'm supposed to ask a question. Can you make Ainsley a permanent host of the show? Or help her get into more podcasts? Have fun responding to this shit.
310-90.
It does matter in which way you approach a communication. I usually tend to be an arrogant person, but we're talking about Americans, so they're gonna still be left behind in many, many places. They're gonna still be eating propaganda out of their fridge while I am actually cooking my own meals, so to speak. Like, they're gonna be left behind in their privileged world if they're not pursuing the possibilities, the endless possibilities. So, again, they don't resonate with my level of arrogance. I try to, like, I win every single conversation, so that's what I expect all the time. I win this one, right? You give me a dub, you watch the whole thing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.